Forest fires are a natural phenomenon and play a vital role in maintaining the balance of our ecosystems. But in a changing climate, fire seasons are likely to last longer with more intense and more frequent wildfires. This can alter the natural dynamics of forest regeneration and pose a risk to public health and the safety of nearby communities, as well as the economies of regions that rely on forestry. Adaptation to forest fires is already well underway in Quebec, with solutions being implemented at the scale of the forests themselves, by municipalities, and even by individuals. Diversifying stands of trees by planting resistant and less flammable species could promote natural regeneration and limit the risk of wildfire in our forests. As the climate warms, we can also explore assisted migration. This involves importing species from further south to promote greater resilience in northern forests. Sustainable logging practices can also slow down wildfires. For example, a well-planned partial cut can thin out stands while keeping more mature, fire-resistant trees. Fire breaks close to a fire can also limit its progression. We can even help restore forests after a fire with tried-and-true practices for soil rehabilitation, replanting, and assisted natural regeneration while maintaining biodiversity. But when forest fires close in on populated areas, municipalities must protect their communities and infrastructures. It starts with raising awareness and imposing restrictions to prevent fires caused by human activity. Communities also need an emergency plan that includes evacuation measures, such as designated shelters and access routes for emergency vehicles. Because smoke travels long distances, municipalities located far from fires must also plan ahead. They can inform their population about health risks and what steps to take based on information from smoke forecasting maps and fine particulate monitoring maps. Regulation is also a useful tool to encourage adapted development of peri-urban areas, such as buffer zones on the outskirts of a town or city, leaving more space between buildings and limiting the development of land where these measures are hard to implement. Individual efforts can also increase our resilience to forest fires. At home, we can build with fire-resistant materials and avoid leaving anything combustible near buildings. We can also plant vegetation that is less vulnerable to fire, making sure it's well spaced and regularly trimmed and pruned. In addition to all these measures, emergency capacities must be strengthened by training more personnel, acquiring more specialized equipment, and developing more detection methods. Forest fires are a complex problem, requiring coordination between many stakeholders. Protecting our forests and populations calls for a broad and long-term vision based on research, collaboration, and vigilance. Finding solutions together to take on forest fires helps us limit today's consequences and anticipate those of tomorrow. Want to learn more? Visit ouranos.ca.